I never believed in Ouija boards. Ghosts, demons, curses. They all sounded like excuses people make when something bad happened and they couldn't explain it. So when my best friend Mason found an old Ouija board buried in the basement of his late grandma's house, I laughed. That was the biggest mistake of my life. It started during spring break. Mason's parents were cleaning out his grandma's property after she passed away. The house sat alone at the end of a dirt road surrounded by dead pine trees that blocked out most of the sunlight. Even during the afternoon, it felt like dusk. There are 4 of us helping. Me, Mason, his girlfriend Chloe, and our friend Ryan. The basement was filled with dusty furniture covered in white sheets. Near the back wall was an old cedar chest wrapped in thick chains. "What do you think's inside?" Ryan asked. Mason shrugged. "No clue. Grandma never let anyone touch this." The lock had already rusted through. Ryan broke it with a hammer. The moment the chain hit the floor, every light in the basement flickered. None of us said anything. We just looked at each other. Inside the chest wasn't jewelry or money. It was a wooden Ouija board. Perfectly clean, not a speck of dust on it. Beside it sat an old notebook. The first page read, "Do not ask who is there." Ryan laughed. That's definitely marketing. He picked up the board. The room suddenly became freezing. I could see my breath. "Nope," Chloe whispered. "I hate this already." But Ryan was already carrying it upstairs. That night, we ordered pizza and joked about playing with it. I didn't want to. Not because I believed, because I thought it was stupid. Eventually, Ryan convinced everyone. "It'll be funny." Those were the last normal words I ever heard him say. We placed the board on the dining room table. Only a single candle burned in the center, mostly because the power kept flickering. Mason opened the notebook. Inside were handwritten rules. Rule 1, never play after midnight. We checked the clock, 11:42 p.m. Rule 2, never play with fewer than 4 people. We had 4. Rule 3, never ask who is there. Ryan rolled his eyes. These old people were dramatic. We all placed 2 fingers on the planchette. Ryan grinned. "Is anyone there?" Nothing. "See, it's fake." He laughed. Then the wooden pointer moved. Slowly, painfully slowly. Yes. Nobody pushed it though. I swear on my life. We all looked at each other's hands. I didn't do that. Neither did I. The candle flickered. Ryan smiled nervously. "Cool trick." He swallowed. "What's your name?" The pointer slid. N-O. No. Mason frowned. It answered no? Ryan laughed. No isn't a name. Then he asked it. The question. The one written in bold letters in the notebook. Who is there? The planchette stopped moving. Everything became silent. No insects outside. No wind. No refrigerator humming. Nothing. The candle went out. In complete darkness. Something breathed behind me. Long. Wet. Slow. I spun around. Nothing. Mason managed to relight the candle. Ryan looked pale. Okay, that's enough. He lifted his fingers and the planchette moved anyway. Fast. Too fast. It shot across the board spelling run. 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 Over and over until it slammed against the edge hard enough to crack the wood. The basement door opened by itself. Then something laughed below us. A child's laugh, except children don't laugh that slowly. He grabbed the board and threw it back into the chest, locked it, covered it. Nobody slept much. Around 3 a.m, Ryan disappeared. His sleeping bag was empty. The back door stood open. We searched outside. His footprints led towards the woods. Halfway there, they stopped. Not faded, just stopped completely. As if he'd been lifted straight into the air. Police searched for 2 weeks. They never found him. Everyone assumed he'd run away, but we knew better. 3 days later, Mason started hearing knocking. Always 3 knocks, exactly at 3:13 every morning. Front door, the bedroom wall, the closet, the ceiling. 3 knocks every single night. Then Chloe began seeing someone standing outside her bedroom window. A little boy. His face hidden by darkness. Every time she turned on the porch light, he would disappear. Gone. Then it became my turn. I woke one night unable to move. Sleep paralysis? Well, that's what I told myself. Standing in the doorway was Ryan. Except his neck bent sideways. His jaw hung open. His eyes were completely black. He whispered one sentence. "You asked." Then he smiled wider than any human should. I screamed. My parents then rushed in, but nobody was there. The next morning, I found muddy footprints leading from my bedroom to the attic. No one had been up in the attic in years. I had my dad go up there and search, but he found nothing except 3 fresh handprints on the ceiling, facing downward, as though someone had crawled across it. We met again at Mason's house. None of us wanted to admit what we were thinking until Mason pulled out the notebook. He'd stolen it from the basement. There were more pages though, pages stuck together. He separated them carefully, and the final entry was written only a week before his grandma died. If someone asks who is there, do not answer when it comes. It does not enter through the board. It enters through the invitation. None of us spoke. Then there was knocking. 3 knocks. From upstairs. Nobody else was home though. We ended up slowly climbing the stairs and the knocking continued. Bedroom, bedroom, bedroom. The sound came from Mason's grandmother's old room. The door slowly creaked open, but the room was empty. Until Chloe ended up looking beneath the bed. She screamed. Not because someone was underneath, because someone reached out and grabbed her wrist. She was pulled halfway under before Mason and I dragged her back. Whatever was beneath the bed didn't let go easily. It finally released her, leaving fingerprints burned into her skin. There were 6 fingers, not 5. We ran downstairs. The Ouija board was sitting on the kitchen table. We had locked it in the basement. The planned chant started to move. Nobody touched it. Letter by letter, I, A, M, H, E, R, E. I am here. Then every cabinet in the kitchen exploded open. Plates crashed, glasses shattered, the lights burst, In darkness, we heard footsteps. Not one pair, dozens. Walking around us, circling, breathing, whispering. Ryan's voice echoed through the room. Don't let it know your name. Then something whispered directly into my ear. I already do. I ended up blacking out. When I woke, morning sunlight streamed through broken windows. Police stood everywhere. Apparently the neighbors heard explosions and found us unconscious. Except Chloe. She was gone. Her phone lay in the yard, still recording, and the police let us hear it. For 5 minutes there was only static. Then Chloe whispered, "Who's holding my hand?" She had been recording alone. No one answered. Then another voice, a child's. "I'm taking yours." The recording ended with screaming, and Chloe was never found. Years passed. Mason moved overseas. He refuses to talk about any of it. The house was demolished, the basement filled with concrete, the chest disappeared. At least that's what I thought. Last month I visited an antique shop 2 states away. Near the register sat an old wooden Ouija board. Same crack in the corner, same faded lettering, same stain shaped like a hand. The owner smiled. "You seen this before?" I froze. "What?" He tilted his head. "It asked about you." I ran. I never looked back. Last night at exactly 3:13 a.m., 3 knocks echoed from my bedroom door. Of course I didn't answer. But a small voice whispered through the wood. "You never said goodbye." Then something slowly slid underneath the door. It wasn't a note. It was the planchette. And scratched into the wood, in letters that looked freshly carved, were the words, "Your turn to ask." If you ever find an old Ouija board hidden away in someone's attic, someone's basement, it doesn't matter. Don't burn it. Don't play it. Don't even touch it. Because maybe it isn't waiting for someone to summon a spirit. Maybe it's waiting for someone to invite it back.